keep money on this, so you know I'm finna rock out.
Like I'm from the knot, you know that I'm hot. And he say he's stepping, we know that he not. Told him come down the hill up to score and get shot. Told Ben call the plan, you know he got. Said he wanted some work, gotta come to the spot. Told you pass the ball, do the work in the rock. What he said on the net, pulling God for the block. Yeah, see him beat the mob, pulling love on the block. Put the boss on the back, had to turn up a notch. Said watch to the bricks, he give me that to drop. Last dude got here, had to leave on the car. And we catching me running, they make it too far. Said I been in the field, you just got to the yard. You can't see in the lights, cause they matching the stars. Nigga bro in the bitch, swear to God that he hot. Better grace of your crease, get the stomp in the yard. I got a stack, get him sacked. Rolling the line, push him away, yeah, he got him a sack. Told him he run away and get smacked. I want his head, get a flag, I'ma take off his chest. He better not talk, gotta snap. We the best in the rich on God, can't snatch about that. Go on the road and get slapped. We wiping his nose and straight right back to the trap.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of the Down the Hill Pregame Podcast. Talking all things Huguenot football. I'm here joined by head coach of Huguenot High School, Coach Charles Scott. What's going on, Coach?
Everything great, man. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, man, just ready to kick things off Saturday. So we're gonna jump straight into it. So, every Thursday we're gonna get on here and talk about
Absolutely
the previous week and going into the opponent for that week. But before we do that, I kind of want to dive into last season. Last season was a historical season at Huguenot High School. Your first one as a head coach there, coming from Life Christian, and you accomplished a lot of things as a head coach, as a staff, as a team, that did a lot for the school, for the community. And it was just a really good year, but you and I both know it wasn't pretty when we first got there. It was not pretty.
For sure.
It was a lot. So just talk about a lot of the things that went on last season. And just kind of turning everything over and building the program back up and getting it to where it is now.
Yeah, man. So first and foremost, man, it's everything is about your staff, man. So you got to have a good staff in place. And the beautiful thing about my staff, either one way or another, so it's like 17 of us all together. One way or another, we had all been coaching together at some point in time. Some of them coached with me in youth ball, some of them coached with me in high school. Then you got like Coach Wood, who we've been knowing each other for years. We've actually competed against each other, coaching against each other. So first of all, just being in the fire with guys that you know what they're looking for, you know that y'all got the same vision and the same goals. That was the first step, and as far as the kids and the buy-in, that piece was pretty much easy, man, because one, a lot of the kids we had coached before, so they knew the expectation, they knew the standards, and then even the kids that we hadn't coached, they knew who I was, and they knew kind of what I stood for. They knew what I did in the community. They knew what I did, obviously coaching youth ball, and then even when you talk about the high school level, coaching and sending guys to college and things of that nature. So it made for the parents to be excited, the kids to be excited, so they knew what we was bringing to the table. So really after that, it was just about them actually seeing what we said would happen. And what I mean by that is we're telling them, look, we're going to win football games, but you got to put this work in. So again, when they putting that work in and then they start to see themselves win football games, man, the rest is history.
Right. And we definitely won some football games, went 8-3, went to the second round of playoffs, regional semifinals, also tight one to Verona. As I saw you say in a couple of the interviews from the news, to the outsiders, it was a good season for us.
For sure.
But internally, I know we all felt like we could have went further, and
Absolutely.
And I know that's what we're looking to do this upcoming season, and we had to get right back to it. It really won't no time to reflect on last season. We had to get back to it and get ready for this season. So talk about how like the off season went, we got strength coach Coach Gene who does a great job. Talk about how that was bringing the players back, bringing everybody back, starting that off-season program, and really getting to it over this off-season.
Yeah, man. So one of the things I did, I met with Coach Gene, right after the season, and I told him, what I wanted us to look like. And the crazy thing is, speaking of the news, a lot of people talk about our speed and our team speed and things like that. And that was just speaking on last year. But I told him, I want to be faster. I want to be the fastest team in the state. I want our team speed to be something that's never been seen before, man. So at the end of the day, I wanted to focus on speed, of course. I told him, look, I want to be the fastest team in the area, point blank, period. So he tailored a program to make us very fast, obviously strong. We got super endurance, but I think this was the best offseason I ever had coaching in high school. And again, there's no shot at Life Christian, but I didn't have no weight room. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have a weight room. We had to contract out with other people. Like, we did MSP one year, we did Defy Genetics one year. But even in that, once you get in the season, we weren't able to lift in season. You know what I mean? So, but speaking of going back to the off season, this was the best off season. Our participation was crazy. I mean, I think we were at 85, 90% participation rate. You know what I mean? As far as our kids, coming out. We had a crazy 7-on-7 circuit, which again, I've been doing that since we was at Life Christian. We would always map out our 7-on-7 season. So I think we hit, I think we hit seven or eight colleges in like 10 days or something crazy, but it was dope because we was on the road with our guys. We spent a lot of time with our guys, obviously staying in hotels, eating together, spending quality time together outside of doing football things, man. That's how you continue to build relationships, and that's how you're able to coach guys on and off the field. So, we had a dope offseason, man. We spent a lot of time together again. I feel like we was never really away from our guys, man. So, it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, definitely, man. These guys definitely love being around each other, and the chemistry is crazy.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about the 7-on-7, like, I don't know if that's ever been done. The amount of schools, I was with you guys. The amount of schools that we went to in like 2 or 3 week span was like it was crazy. And competed highly in every last one of them.
For sure.
Most of them got to either semifinal or the championship. End up winning one at University of South Carolina, where it was a lot of really good competition. Everybody know about down south, how the athletes are down there, and we took a bunch of kids from Richmond down there and went and won it.
For sure.
So I think that was a great thing. That was a confidence boost.
Absolutely.
I seen it build a lot of team morale, camaraderie, and things like that. So that was definitely a beautiful thing. Moving along to camp, preseason camp. Man, that's always a grind. That's always a grind for
no doubt.
For the coaches, players, everybody. Talk about how camp went as a whole. Just dealing with all of the things that you deal with just seeing each other every day, being tired and being in the heat. You have your issues with the heat where you can't practice some days. So many factors. So just talk about how preseason camp went.
No, it's great, man. All in all, it was great camp. We got out for the most part injury free, that's as a coach, man, I have to go into it and balancing how physical can we be, but we still want to be healthy going into the season. But we don't want our guys to not have had physical contact or win 100 miles an hour. So you got to balance all that stuff out, man. Weigh the pros and cons. And then some guys, we know what they can do. So, they're not going to do as much as some of the other ones who we still trying to see what they can do in different situations. Can they play up to this level? So again, man, you just balancing all that stuff, man. But camp was great. Like I said, the fact that we was able to come out healthy was great. The fact that we scrimmaged two good teams, Glen Allen and Hermitage. Both are extremely athletic teams. Both they play fast. They got good coaching staffs, man. We got some good work, some good bump with those guys that will prepare us, for the season. So I think it was great, man. Then even when you going into camp, like I said, having to adjust, like you said, to the heat, and they said, oh, it's too hot to practice outside, so we gotta make an adjustment to be inside. But again, that's when you get a lot of your more mental stuff done. So again, it was dope, man. It was a good camp. The kids came out. We definitely got better. And like I said, for me, the most important part is, man, we healthy, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Um, so one of the things you mentioned was, how we had to adjust to the heat. Um, and one thing about being a Huguenot for the past year or so, the amount of adjustments that we've had to make is out of this world. Whether that
for
was
sure.
practice, a game, uh, it's like constantly something going on. And moving on to Eastern View, we had another one of those situations where we had to adjust to. So
For sure.
and obviously it's all worked out now. We got the game going Saturday.
Absolutely.
Um, but let I want the people to know what kind of went on behind the scenes, and what led up to, with the canceling of the game and rescheduling and things like that. What led up to us playing, finally getting a chance to play on this Saturday at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, man. So it's tough because some of the stuff, you know, um, I don't know, but I know what the perception is, and I know what we was told. So at the end of the day, man, we had the JV game. We had our JV game supporting our guys. Um, I get a call that I need to, come speak with, my administration. So I'm thinking that our game that we're currently playing is, I'm thinking that it's about to get shut down because it was lightning that day earlier. So I'm thinking, we about to shut it down. It's almost halftime. So, okay, I figure out how to, tell the kids this, cause it was already delayed. So really I'm thinking that's what it's about. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's gonna be a little letdown, but at least they got to get some bump. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then it's like, nah, they coach, the Eastern View game was canceled. I'm like, oh, what you mean it's canceled? I'm like, what's going on? Well, they supposed to play Culpeper that day, and they couldn't play him because, like we just mentioned, the lightning or whatever it may be, and so they was gonna move our game off of the schedule because for whatever happened up that way, the top dog said, nah, like y'all gonna play this Culpeper game, and if y'all gotta move Huguenot, that's what it is. So that's basically how it came down to. It's like it was no other options. They're not playing us. They're gonna play Culpeper because again, for people out here, it's the equivalent to a Bird Thomasdale game, a
Right.
Verona Highland Springs game, as far as the rivalry and as far as the gate money. So I said what I said. I said, look, man, they chose the money over principles, and that's how I felt. I mean, like, it's about the money. And again, unfortunately, a lot of these situations are about the money, but the kids get the short end of the stick because it's not about the kids. They don't care about letting you down. When I say they, I'm talking about the people up top. I'm not talking about their coach. I'm talking about the people that is above him. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's how the message came out, and that's what I felt. And I said what I said on Twitter, like, look, man, like, this ain't right. You know what I mean? Like, our kids can't keep getting the short end of the stick. We got the short end of the stick last year, for reasons that, have passed. But at the end of the day, like, at some point in time, man, the kids have to come first, man. This is one of the purest forms of sports you're going to get outside of youth ball. High school ball is the most purest form you can get. After that, it's a lot of politics and money involved. And again, like, even now, you're starting to see some of the high school ball get poisoned with some of the politics, and I just don't think that's right, man. So again, when it's any times of disservice to the kids, I'm gonna speak on that. But I also shout out people for doing the right thing. They did the right thing behind the scenes within 24 hours, and they made the game happen. And my only thing to that is, like, let's stop making announcements. Let's do everything we can do to make things happen behind the scenes before we put it out, because it didn't even have to put out that the game was canceled. It could have been administrative to administrative. This what it looks like, but we're gonna still keep working behind the scenes. Now nobody knows nothing. You know what I mean? And it's not even an issue. You know what I mean? So because it got worked out. And I think it could have got worked out the same way quietly, and it's never an issue.
Right. Um, at the end of the day, that's what happens. People can feel how they want to feel, uh, but we get to play football on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And so looking at the football part of it, just looking at Eastern View, um, a good program up in, I believe it's like the Fredericksburg area, Culpeper,
For sure.
something up there. Definitely got some talent. I know I watched their game on Tuesday, I believe it was, against Culpeper, and they definitely have some good players. I know they have a Virginia Tech commit, number 34, I believe his name is Brett Clatterball, something like
Yeah,
that.
Clatterball.
Really, really good player. I know they had an athlete, number 1, that was real good. And they're historically, recently a good program. I believe they went 9-1 last year. Lost in the first round to Dinwiddie, which is a team from around here. And like I said, won their first game against Culpeper, 35-12, something like that. So just talk about what you see out of Eastern View.
Well, first and foremost, man, when you watch them, you see that they got some dudes, bro. I love the quarterback. I think he'll probably be, a running back or something in college, but he's a dude. You know what I'm saying? He could play. The linebacker's a dude. Obviously, he's going to Virginia Tech. Strikes me as a old school linebacker downhill, make it happen. And one is a football player, man. He's probably like 6'3"ish, probably 6'3.5", wide receiver, play safety as well. Those are your three guys that will stand out when you say your top three of a team. Those guys stand out. They got good chemistry. I watched them on the sidelines talking to each other. So I watched a little bit of everything to see, dudes' personalities, how they work together. Well, number one, he works the crowd a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that means he enjoys playing the game of football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Love
good football player, man, that he can play. So I look forward to that matchup with him and Tyshawn this weekend. Like, you know what I mean? I think Tyshawn's, best corner around here simply, and him going against one is gonna be dope for us, man. It's gonna be an exciting matchup. But they got some players. Obviously they've been winning football games. So obviously they coaching it up, doing the right thing. They played a good game on Tuesday. Then they got to turn right back around and come play us. So I look forward to the challenge. I look forward to them coming down the hill. It's definitely not gonna be easy for them. Coming down the hill is what it is. We haven't lost down the hill since we've been there.
Right. So I'm excited for Saturday. I think the school is excited, the community is excited. I know the guys ready to get after. And just looking forward to Saturday, man. Just looking forward to kicking the season off. It's always tough having that week 1 or week 0 bye week.
I really don't like it at all, man. That week 0 bye is mean, man. Like it's like you grind all summer, like you talking about camp, and then you get that bye week off the top. Everybody's playing, your boys excited, it's tough. And then the flip side of that is, again, like our goals aren't hidden, man. Like we plan to play till December. So now you talking about we got to run off like 16, 17 straight weeks, no bye. You know what I'm saying? Like that's tough, man. So like definitely, if we could do it another way, we would try to figure out we don't have to have that early bye, moving forward, man. But it's tough. And then you talk about like what if the game would have got canceled? Now you talking about 2 byes back to back. You know what I'm saying? So and that's another reason like we was fighting it so hard. Like, come on, like don't do that to these kids again, man. Y'all did it last. You did it last year. Like don't do that to the kids. They don't deserve it. And then what people don't see is, man, like again, like you losing out on film, you losing out on good tape, you losing out on experiences, man. Look, you only gonna play a certain amount of high school games, in your life, man. And when you cancel a game or take a game away from a kid, you taking an experience away from them. And for me, that's unfortunate and it's inconsiderate, man. And we can't be doing stuff like that. We got to understand, what this means to these children, and like you said, on the community as well. You got babies and kids, 8, 9, 10 years old that now they love to see us play, and they look forward to the game. So when you got a 10-year-old disappointed, like, why y'all got no game? Y'all don't have no game? We don't have no game? Like, no, that's not cool, man. Like I said, we building a community and a family situation, man, that we want everybody to come out, look forward to coming out. And we're building that. So again, when you're talking about disappointment, it goes far throughout, not just the building. You're talking about the whole community being affected.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad we get to get this game played. Yeah, I'm just excited. So definitely appreciate you coming on here. Look forward to doing this all year.
Absolutely.
Every Thursday or Friday or the day before every game, and looking forward to kicking this season off right on Saturday. So I appreciate you coming on here, Coach.
All right, man.
You know it's LTM. I want for them what I want for me. Just throw it up and I'ma get it. I had to show boys that I'm really with it. You speak on the game, better say that we winning. You ain't burying your ops. How the fuck is we 20? Me and the man, we handling business. You and your man be washing them dishes. We really been grinding. We been in them trenches. How you a hitter ain't sending no blitzes. No, you get stepped on for this, and then when we slide, we don't do no miss. Everybody got their own bags, and you see that we really be up on the miss. If you not work, if you not lift, I promise you not competition. Everybody hate the top ops, we don't even give them no attention. It's time to show them I'm with it. Just throw it up and I'ma get it. Throw it up and I'ma get it. Just throw it up and I'ma
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 1 of the Down the Hill Pregame Podcast, talking all things Huguenot football. I'm here joined by Huguenot High School Defensive Coordinator, Coach Justin Waddey. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good.
Want to get you on here, talk about some things. So, first off, let's go back to last season. First year at Huguenot, coming over from Life Christian Academy. Was over there for a few years. Helped build that program up. And first year at Huguenot, trying to bring back what a lot of people considered a storied program who was, very good in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and, had a pretty successful season, as for a first year at Huguenot. So talk about some of the things that, defensively or just, team as a whole that, we went through and, just how we did as a whole as a team in 2023.
For sure. I mean, yeah, last season was dope, man. Like you said, coming from Life Christian, where we were on the road every week, hundreds and thousands of miles, coming back to a more localized program where all the kids can look behind them and see their family in the stands. As coaches, we can look behind us and see our family in the stands, whereas that wasn't necessarily always the case at Life Christian. I'm from Chesterfield. I graduated from Meadowbrook, so I wasn't really in the know of like the Huguenot, like the alumni base, how much the alumni love Huguenot. To see how they kind of that community kind of evolved throughout the year, it was great, man. And then defensively, I feel like just on a football standpoint, I feel like I don't want to use the word overachieve, but I feel like we played really well considering how many freshmen we started defensively. I think at least 7 freshmen got a start throughout the year, and it was wonderful to watch them grow and watch them progress as the year went on. But yeah, last season was dope, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely was a really good season. And I heard you talk about the freshmen. Like, a lot of people don't know just how many freshmen actually played. Most varsity teams, you probably have maybe 1 or 2 that play or, make an impact. Like, I remember last year during the Verona game, at one point I was looking around and I'm like, okay, Ben Thompson, Jace Bigelow, Avion Lewis going out there on defense sometimes. Just a lot of young players, Romello Perry, and I'm just like, man, I mean, these guys are 14, 15 years old out here playing on a big stage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, I don't want to say it was something that was overlooked, but I just don't think a lot of people knew just how many young guys that we, that we had playing last year and that made a big impact, in big games. I mean, these weren't guys that just were like role players. Like, these were guys that came in and made big plays. Ziggy, like, I mean, it's like, making interceptions in playoff games. Like, these are guys 14, 15 years old. So I thought that was really, really amazing.
From a coaching standpoint, it's kind of like, once they get on the field, throw the age out the window. We here now, let's play ball. But when you sit down and really think about it, it's like we asked a lot of dudes to mature faster than the average 13, 14, 15-year-old. And obviously you have your bumps and bruises, but a lot of those guys took on that challenge, and it was serious to them. Even seeing some of their faces after the Verona game, historically, if you got a freshman, they're like, man, I got time, man. I ain't. It is what it is. Like, I wanted to win, but I got time. But seeing some of their faces, you would have thought that those guys were seniors and they were about to leave. So that really cut on the light bulb for me at the end of the season. Like, these dudes really, really care, man. Kind of let me sit back and look at the growth over the year and then kind of push them to be where they want to be, because now I know you care and you know I care.
Right. It was that Verona loss. Like you said, you saw a lot of the long faces, and you saw how much it meant to them. And it's like, you got these guys that a lot of these guys got 2-3 more years to, take a crack at this thing. So, it was definitely good to see that. Going into, the off season and coming up to starting the season on this Saturday, what's a player that you think had a somewhat of a that you think is going to have a breakout year, that maybe played a little bit or maybe didn't play so much last year, maybe didn't have as big of a role, and really had a good off season, and coming into the 2024 season you think is really going to make a big leap and make his presence known on the field?
We had a lot of guys who took leaps, but I think the biggest leap, and I'll give you two real fast. Tyshawn Moore, he was a role guy last year. He played here and there. Some games he might not have played. He had a great offseason in the weight room. His attendance was insane. He ran track. He picked up about 5 or 6 offers, to maybe 7 now. I know he picked up Hampton last night. Then he was actually voted a team captain by his peers. He made a lot of plays for us in the 707 circuit. Obviously, we go here, there, everywhere during the summer. He made a lot of plays there. He's been making a lot of plays in camp. He's grown as a leader. Man, he just like reeks of confidence, bro. Like, if I was another team, I wouldn't throw his way. And another one, Jace Bigelow, man. He's a dude. He's gonna be a dude for a long time for us. He got pulled up last year, and he played in spots due to injury. But for me, it was always like, all right, let's get you ready for next year. Let's get you ready for next year. Knowing Christian Payne will graduate. In this offseason, he's really locked in, like, schematically. So he's not just out there playing. So I think both of those guys are going to have big years for us.
Right. I definitely, I know for me, Tyshawn Moore, definitely.
Yeah.
The way... just to explain it to people, like, you would have just had to have seen him last year to this year to see the difference, just the confidence. I think that's the biggest difference I've seen, is just, he just has a mentality now, like, you're not gonna throw my way.
Yeah.
And you need a defensive back like that, and I think he's like you said, his attendance was crazy. He was always there, voted a team leader. And, not to knock him, but if you would have told me a year ago that we'd be saying going into the 2024 season, he would have 7 offers and, be one of the most improved players and voted a team captain, like, I'm not sure if I would believe you, but that's a testament to, the work that he's put in. And, I'm really excited to see, what he does this season. And then, going back to, you talked about Jace Bigelow, like, Christian Payne was like, it's hard to replace a guy like him.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I mean, if you watch Huguenot football last year, 4 was always all over the field.
Yeah.
And, for Jace to be able to step in that role, and going back to what we said, this guy was a freshman last year. He was a freshman last year. And now going into his sophomore year with this big role, I'm definitely excited to see, what he does. And then as a unit, what's the biggest leap or difference that you see between last year's defensive unit and going into this year? I know how many is returned on defense? Is it 9 starters? Or
Yeah, non-starters.
8? Yeah, I know it's somewhere around there. Um, what do you see as a difference from last year to this year, and how we grew as a unit defensively?
Uh, well, we grew tremendously in the offseason. Um, like I said, last year it was a lot of freshmen, so they were just out there playing, just giving it everything they got, energy. Um, this year, during the offseason, we kind of broke it down more in a schematic way. Guys understand their keys with the read. It ain't just see ball, hit ball every time. Um, Obviously, we want to keep that same energy and fire that they played with last year, but let's do it from a schematic point of view. Like for me, our backers have taken a huge leap. Um, I said you have a guy like Christian Payne. It's tough to replace him, but it makes it a little bit easier when your backers make the leap that our backers made. Like I just spoke on Bigelow. Like, it was a guy that dominated JV early last year. He earned that spot on varsity. He got those valuable snaps last year as a freshman. Which I think will prepare him to step up into that big role this year. Then you got Romello Perry. So he had a great camp last year, so great that he won a job on varsity. It was just undeniable. So his second year, I think it's really starting to slow down for him, and he's starting to play with instincts. However, again, like I said, playing smart, reading your keys, understanding where you want to be. He was second on the team in tackles last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if he led the team in tackles this year. And then obviously, Markel Dabney in that group. We all know what he brings. For him this season, like he really put in the work to his body has he transformed even more. So I think that's what allowed him to do some special things for us as well. So that linebacker group is really special. So I think they kind of helped everybody develop throughout this offseason.
Right. And staying on the subject of linebackers, I'm gonna ask a question that I'm pretty sure I think I know the answer to.
Okay.
I think every good defense, when you look at great defenses, whether it's from the NFL, college, I think every defense has that one leader, 1 to 2 leaders that's vocal. When you think about like the Ravens back in the day, you think about Ray Lewis. When you hear about the '85 Bears, you hear about like Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
Who is that guy on the defense that is the leader, that takes control, that when you need a stop, this guy, you can depend on that guy. Who's that guy on the defense?
Well, for us, I'm blessed enough, man, to have guys with the reek experience. It's probably 3 or 4 guys on our defense who've been playing for me for the last 3 years. You got Markel Dabney, you got Sam, you got Deron Thompson, dudes like that. Even Tashawn, he's been around. He took the leap this year, but he's still been around the last 3 years. So you got those dudes who've been playing for a long time, who got that experience to know what we expect as a staff, know what we expect as a defensive staff. More importantly, but if I had to key in on one guy out of those guys, I got to go with Markel. He started for me as a freshman, and coming into a year 3 as a full-time starter. He's engraved in our system now. He does a great job of bringing the guys up to speed, helping the younger guys out. Even early last year when he was banged up, he was still detrimental for us, so we could just bring those young guys up like Romello Perry, Jace Bigelow, Zavon Miller, all those guys. He's actually played 7 spots on defense for us since he's been in our system. So he's lined up at corner before, both backers, or all 3 backers, free, strong, in. So just that experience, man, and as a person, he's a leader. So the kids understand. He understands when we need to play. So, yeah, I think to answer that question, he's that guy for us that we kind of lean on to bring that on-the-field leadership.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I could even see it a lot of times. Last year, I could see it in the scrimmage. The scrimmages this year, where he kind of would take control of the game on both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So moving along to this Saturday's game, Eastern View. I was just talking with Coach Scott about it. They were a team that went 9-1 last year. Lost in the first round to Dinwiddie. Opened up the season on Tuesday with a 35-12 win. Definitely have some athletes. You got Brett Clark. I don't want to say his name wrong. Carterball. Virginia Tech committing some, other definitely key weapons. Talk about what you see out of Eastern View and what we can do to open up with a win this Saturday at 1 o'clock.
No, yeah, they're definitely a really good team. 9-1 is nothing to turn your face up at. I don't care what people say on Twitter. 9-1 is 9-1, man. The schedule is the schedule. I don't care. Everyone got to play ball. The ball got to be put down. You got to play at the end of the day. So to go 9-1, that's special. No matter when you do it. But yeah, speaking offensively for them, they got some dudes, man. Their quarterback, AP Hall, he's returning. Anytime you're returning a quarterback, you always got a shot to be good. That experience that I even talked about prior. You got the receiver, Will Butler. He can really stretch the field. They have a real good connection. Then, like you said, you got those tough guys like Brett. Then you got some of the linemen returning. I believe the kid's name is Jaquan White. I think he scooped and scored had 2 fumble recoveries last week. Scored a touchdown on one of them. Plays on the offensive line. I think he was second team all region or something like that. So they got some dudes, man. And then they got some other guys kind of fitting in the running back. Fry, he runs well. So I'm excited to see how we stack up this early against another 4B team that'll probably be in the race once we get later on in the year. For us, we just go play our game. As we always say, it's a big game because it's the next game. So rather it was Eastern View or whoever on the schedule, it's still a big game for us because it's our next game. So I'm excited to see how our kids come out and respond, especially they're coming off a game, and this is our first game, so you have that storyline. But maybe it'll be a thing where we can get them back down here down the hill come November. So I'm definitely excited about it on Saturday, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Like you said, this is a region game. This could possibly be the first of 2 meetings this season, just like how we did with Powhatan last season. So, definitely excited to see what they got and open up the season on Saturday. So, it's going to be exciting. So, I appreciate you coming on, and good luck on Saturday, Coach.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah. Know it. We run the field and they know it. Love for the mob, we show it. Behind one of mine, I'ma blow it. And we up a dub, don't blow it. Ain't no mercy, we giving them more. Talking quarters, we going on 4. Ain't no stopping, we up in the scope. Falcons, that be the squad. Ain't nothing soft over here, we go hard. First play, we go deep like we throwing the God. End zone, do the gritty, you hear that applause? Mobbing. We chasing our dreams like Martin. They passing, be patient, just watch him. If he come across that middle, boy, pop him.
Oh, big hit.
Got him. Hit so hard, look like somebody shot him. Up the sideline, stiff arm, he done dropped him. Bravo coach screaming, somebody stop him. All right, welcome back to the Down the Hill Pregame Podcast. Season 1, Episode 1, talking all things Huguenot football. And now I'm here, joined by Huguenot High School Offensive Coordinator, Coach Bent. What's going on, Coach?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, definitely excited to get you on here, talk about some things going on with the offense this season. So, first off, before we even get into this season, I want you to talk about last season a little bit. How you felt, first year at Huguenot. Obviously did, some years at Life Christian Academy. But first year as a staff as a whole, over at Huguenot. And, just talk about how you felt, we did offensively as a whole last season.
Yeah, well, first off, it felt great to be able to coach in the area again. being at Life Christian, being all over the place, up and down the road week after week. You see some great teams, you see some great opponents, but it ain't nothing like, being able to coach, like, where you from.
Absolutely.
So, getting out there last year, man, I felt like we did good. We got off to a great start. JV and varsity alike. Lighting scoreboards up, 75 points. I think JV dropped 68 first game, something like that.
Something like that. Crazy.
So, I felt like we did great. Started off strong. Then we got bit by the injury bug, probably about, 2-3 games in. Lost some of our huge weapons. Went to a bird game in with one running back. We was missing like 600-700 yards worth of offense.
That's right, yeah, because we didn't have Junior Dabney, or I forgot about that. No Junior Dabney or
no John Washington.
Yeah.
Markel Dabney played one player offense.
Mm-hmm.
So we was missing a lot of pieces down the stretch that were key to what I wanted to do. However, we found a way to make it work. We got out of there 8-3. I just in the off season looked at the offense, made a few tweaks and changes to it. Really finding a way to maximize all of the athletes and talent that we got. And man, I can't wait to see what it does this year.
Right. Yeah, definitely was a successful season last year, and looking to even grow on that this season, I'm sure. Looking at this season, what's a player that you feel is going to have a breakout season? That's put in a lot of work over the off season, been at all the workouts, and just really been dedicated, and you think is primed for a big season?
Well, I'm gonna give you two.
Okay.
First, in terms of breakout, man, I think Randall Robinson is gonna have an extreme season. He showed flashes last year. He lit up JV. But showed flashes last year, when he got the opportunity on varsity in a few games. But he's coming back off of a little injury. He's been working hard, had a really good 7-on-7 circuit. And then through camp, he just looked really explosive. And now, man, I can't wait to see him getting those, full-time, being a full-time feature, being someone that we can actually, script for. Man, I think it's gonna be a huge year for him. And then secondly, under the radar guy, Caleb Polk, Tank. I think he's going to have a really good season, a really sneaky good season. He really doesn't miss any workouts. He's become pretty much, a form of a team leader. And he's gonna be vital to some of the stuff that we do. So I can't wait to see, what he puts together this year as well.
Yeah. Going back to Randall Robinson, I think he's one that played a lot as a freshman last year. Like you said, lit up JV as well. But he was kind of under the radar, and a lot of people don't know the injury bug that he was dealing with. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a pretty good freshman season, and his shoulder was never right. I know he dealt with a couple other things, and I was a guy that was around a lot of his youth football career, 12, 13, 14 and saw just how good he was, and seeing him in this camp and in the scrimmages, it's like he looking like he is his his old self. Like I know he's still dealing with a couple things, but this is close to 100% that I've seen him.
And then another thing is, I mean, he's still young. And I think
sophomore.
I think when people see him, they're gonna forget that. And then they're gonna really be able to see, he can dominate for years.
Right.
And he will. So, and like you said, man, he just looks different in camp. Something just looked just the way he was running, the way he was moving, it just, I just can't wait for it. I can't wait for him to get his shot. So it's here, and he earned it. So
Yeah, definitely excited for him. And then Caleb is man. That's a really good kid, man.
he's a good kid.
I've known Caleb for a few years now. Just a hard worker, and I hope he gets everything that he deserves this year.
For sure.
And definitely excited to see what he's gonna do. I know one of the things, I'm a media guy, so I read all the stuff, and I see what people say, and I watch all the videos. And one thing that the perception that Huguenot High School football team has is, it's a lot of athletes, got a lot of fast guys, got a lot of athletic guys, but the trench is weak. The offensive line struggles. That's the perception. And there were a couple struggles last year. But talk about, some of the things that will be done this upcoming season as far as the offensive line, some of the new additions that we added to the offensive line, and some improvements that we expected to see starting this Saturday.
Well, for one of the huge things for me, in that it's easy. You got to pick something out. Forgive me. You got to pick something out. So, the media, the fans, the city, whatever the case may be, they're gonna have to find something wrong. But for me, what a lot of people might not have recognized last year is that not just on the O-line, but team-wise in general, we started 11 freshmen. On the O-line being at times 3 of them. And no seniors at all last year on the O-line. So you take that, then you go into this new year where we returned everyone in terms of, people that played O-line. And then we added an all-region performer in Keyshawn Ross, who, in my opinion, is a top, if not the top lineman, in the area. And then you pair that with another all-region performer in Deron Thompson. We return our center. I mean, I think this year our O-line is now turned from a quote unquote weakness to the strength. We're gonna rely on them guys up front. That's where the leadership is on the team. And I spent quite a bit of time, with the O-line coaches in the offseason and just kind of, revamping some things, going back to more of a simplistic, view, and letting them guys really do what they do well. So I think this year people are going to be able to see a huge turn in them. They're going to be what makes this offense go. So I can't wait to see what they pick out as, the next weakness. but it ain't gonna be them. So
right, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see the improvements. Like you said, we were young. That was part of it. It's a lot of key factors that just people just don't know about. That played a part in some of those struggles. If you want to call it struggles that we had. And like you said, a Deron Thompson, and my goodness, like Keyshawn Ross, like, I mean, if anybody watched him in the scrimmages, like he was mauling people.
It ain't fair.
So I'm excited to see, how they gel, going along and, hopefully playing all the way into December. And like you said, if you could last year consider that a weakness, now it's a strength. So what can we expect going into the 2024 season as a whole, offensively? Obviously we have different quarterback situation, which is a good situation for us, and return some guys. But what can we expect that some things that are similar, some things that'll be changed from last season.
I mean, at the end of the day, we are who we are. So my biggest thing is about establishing an identity. We do have a new quarterback situation, and it's a great situation to be in right now. We have a great leader in Linwood Johnson that came over. I mean, the kids picked up to him as if he was been here for the last 3-4 years.
Definitely.
He's picked up the offense like the back of his hand. And one thing that I noticed is that is something I noticed this weekend watching Miami play, and I noticed how Cam Ward was always calm. He was always relaxed, no matter what was going on. And that's something that I see in our quarterback now. And that type of calmness, that type of mentality will drive this offense to an extremely successful place. And it makes me comfortable as a play caller because now I know that we'll never be in panic mode. You know what I'm saying? So I think what people could expect, what people are going to see. I mean, of course, I'm biased because it's my offense, but we're going to score a lot of points. We're going to score a lot of points. We're going to be electric, and we're going to play a physical brand of football. I think we have the best run game in the state of Virginia. So we're going to go out there. We're going to show it week after week. We're going to force people to stop what we do well. And then from there, man, it's going to be the greatest show on turf, bro. Simple as that. Simple as that. So, we call ourselves the Light Show. And it's more than ever, it's time to show it. I love my pieces. I love what I got. And it's just going to be fun to watch, man.
Definitely going to be fun to watch. And, the fans, the community, all get to see it coming up this Saturday, the first game against Eastern View. So I want you to talk about a little bit of what you see out of Eastern View. Obviously, they're headlined by their linebacker, committed to Virginia Tech, really, really good player. And obviously some other pieces too. What do you see out of Eastern View, and what are some of the keys you think that we have to do to win this game on Saturday?
I think that we had the opportunity to see him in the summertime. Speaking of the linebacker, we had the opportunity to see him in the summertime in one of the 7-on-7 circuits, and just to see that team in general. And they got some really good looking kids. They're a program who has seen success in recent years, so they're gonna expect that every time they touch the field. I think that it's just all a matter of us executing. That's what it's gonna come down to week after week. I love that we're starting the season off with this game. We don't duck anything, so we want to play the best because we think we are the best. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a great test. They're a great team, great program. So it's just going to be a great show.
Right, definitely. Well, I'm definitely excited for Saturday, and can't wait to see what the Light Show gonna do, what they got for the fans, and get a chance to see what everybody gonna see all season. So
sure. And then I be looking at the message boards and looking at the looking at social media, and I just seeing what people expect from us or expect to see, or it's gonna be really funny to see kind of how people's questions get answered Saturday once we're in a real game. I just think in-house, I know we are in a great situation over here, so
right.
it's gonna be a fun season, man. Looking to get it off to a great start on Saturday.
Definitely. Can't wait for Saturday, and definitely appreciate you getting on, and good luck on
Absolutely.
Saturday, coach.
For sure, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Shoulda listened, so yeah, we cut different. Now you bout to get it. 100 rounds coming out that drum. Any block we spinning, big boys hopping out that bus. Watch his face change. No, it ain't no sympathy for no fears. We don't play game. Ragons robbing out that cut. Now you look stressed. Hold up, kill him with that speed, a little finesse. Like this up, we apply that pressure. Watch you get pressed. Dot you up, green beam on that candy. You get that safe. I stay with the legends looking for a victim, and we sliding with them. You don't want it, better turn your head. Boy, mind your business. Prime time, locked in at that moment like I'm Dion. Disrespect my matchup. Come on here, peon.
Welcome back to season 1, episode 1 of the Down the Hill Pregame Podcast, talking all things Huguenot football. And now I'm here joined by quarterback Linwood Johnson III. What's going on, bro?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get straight into it. So obviously, your first 3 years, you played at Verona High School. Definitely a storied program, great program. Just won a state championship about 3 years ago. And started for them last year. But you come over to us at Huguenot this year for your last year. Talk about how it was, just transitioning, coming over from Verona to coming over to Huguenot.
School wise, the transition was kind of iffy, trying to get used to the new environment. But other than that, football wise, I feel like it was great, especially coming over and knowing a lot of the players since rec. And then a lot of the players basically got the same mindset as me, as in winning and wanting to win states.
Okay. So you mentioned, knowing a lot of kids from, from playing rec ball and stuff, and you played over at for the Rich City Spiders, where your dad, I believe he's like one of the founders of Rich
Yeah,
City
he's the
Spiders.
president. Yeah.
President. There you go. And what a lot of outside people don't know is that your dad is the JV head coach at Huguenot, which definitely played a part in you wanting to come over here. So talk about how that experience is, being able to be back on the same field with your dad, as you did for so many years with the Rich City Spiders. And being able to basically be on the same team with him with your last year of high school football.
Yeah, I feel like it was great, especially because my dad was the first person that really got me into playing football and my first real actual coach. And then me and him not being on the sideline for real since I was 12, 13. I feel like that was great experience.
Yeah. It's it's definitely cool to see that your dad was the one that he played in the green and gold as well. I believe he's a 2003 graduate, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
2003.
Played for Coach McPhee. Won a lot of games at Huguenot, and I know he's excited to see you get that same experience and win some games this year. So talk about like you said, you knew a lot of people, obviously, and a lot of people don't know about some of the travel 7-on-7 teams, with the marathon, and you already being familiar with so many guys. What's one guy, or maybe a couple guys that that you really grew close to, and really made the transition easy for you, and just made the experience coming over to Huguenot from Verona like just an easy transition?
Definitely Kiari Lewis because he was at Verona with me
That's
my
right. That's
freshman and
right.
sophomore year. So even when I was making the decision on transferring over, he really had a big play in it, telling me how everything was and basically helping me. Then when I got over, helping me, and then another two people is Junior Scott and Avion Lewis because me and Junior were both quarterbacks, so that's automatic. And then IV really best receiver that I got, so I gotta have a great connection with him.
Right. 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 Um, yeah, I know. Just seeing you come over, like it, it all just seems so natural, really. And seeing the relationship that you and Junior Charles Scott Jr. have. A lot of people really wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
The relationship that you guys have, and it's like how me and Coach Ben was talking about, like it's really a good situation to have. Um, you know, you obviously have a young talent like him, and then you have somebody like you who has plenty of experience, has already done it, um, uh, uh, at a high level when you were over at Verona, and it's just it's a good situation all the way around. What are some of your goals individually that you wanna accomplish this year from the quarterback position?
I want to have my first thing I want to do is be a great leader to the team. Then my second thing is I want to get more touchdowns than what I had last year. Had 29 last year. I want to try to get more than that. And I want to be able to make all first team all region and make all metro.
Okay, okay, and yeah. So those are. Did you get any region or metro last year?
Nah,
That's hard to believe,
yeah, I
because
ain't get nothing.
uh, we found out firsthand last year what you could do. In the playoff game, ironically, and definitely excited to have you here and see what you do um, individually, but also want to know, um, what's your goals for the team, um, because individual goals are important, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's all one team, and everybody's working together. So what are some of your goals?
Definitely, definitely the win states. It's basically like states are bust with me. And then I want to be able to put up offensive wise. I want to be able to put up 35 plus a game, and then make sure we getting better week in week out till December.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, I definitely. That seems like the that seems like the theme around the program is and most people would think that's crazy from a team with a staff that's in year two to um, have goals of a state championship, but that's just something that's been being preached all off season, and it starts Saturday. So what do you, after looking at film at Eastern View, and watching their game this past Tuesday, what did you see out of Eastern View, and what do you think, some of our keys to winning this game on Saturday are?
I feel like they're they're a great football team. I don't feel like they can play with us, and I feel like take 34 out. Their best player is 34. Feel like we take 34 out the game out. We feel like we should be great.
Right, right. Yeah, he's definitely a good player, really a great player.
Yeah.
Amongst a few others, and like you said, they're a really good football team, and you know, but I know we feel confident as well. So Saturday is gonna be it's gonna be interesting, and I know everybody's excited for Saturday. I know you're excited to come out there in the green and gold for the first time, and you know, I'm looking forward to Saturday as, you know, as everybody else is, and you know, I can't wait for it. So I appreciate you coming on, and you know, good luck on Saturday in the first game, and you know, hopefully we take this thing all the way to December.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Like I'm from the knot, you know that I'm hot. And he say he stepping, we know that he not. Told him come down the hill up to score and get shot. Told Ben call the plan, you know he a lot. Said he wanted some work, gotta come to the spot. Told you pass the ball, get the work in the rock. What he said on the net, pulling God for the block. Yes, he beat him up, in love on the block. Put the boss on the back, had to turn up a notch. Said watch to the bricks, he give me that to drop. Last dude got here, had to leave on the car. And we catching me running, they make it too far. Said I been in the field, you just got to the yard. You can't see in the lights, cause they matching the stars. Like LeBron in the bitch, swear to God that he hot. Better grace of your crease, get the stomp in the yard. I got a stack, get him sacked. Roll on the line, push him away, yeah, he got him a sack. Told him he run away and get smacked. I want his head, get a flag, I'ma take off his chest. He better not talk, gotta snap. We the best in the rich on God, can't snatch about that. Go on the road and get slapped. We wiping his nose hands straight, right back to the trap.